I don't go to movies very often anymore, but that reminds me of the hey guys, silence your phones before we start this movie. So thank you for that. So everybody, welcome to this webinar. I appreciate you guys' time and interest. We are Absco Solutions, one of the Motorola Solutions partners. We have been around a long time, 45 years. We specialize in life safety and security solutions in the Pacific Northwest, servicing Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana as our main states that we manage. Everything from police departments that are managing and helping with school districts and universities and city public properties, all the way to universities and locations where security is a risk. We are experts in this field, and we love the Motorola Solutions products. And today we're going to be highlighting the cloud-based solutions that are highlighting both video and access integrated solutions together. Motorola is really, for those of you that don't know, is really kind of changing the opportunities we have in the security world. They have provided a kind of a one throat to choke, a one solution, one umbrella company that has multiple solutions underneath it. This is just one branch that we're going to talk about today, the Alta branch, which is the cloud-based video and access control integrated solutions system together. And we are a Motorola badge partner, meaning we can service a lot of different solutions, which includes concealed weapons detection, among other things that Motorola offers. And those can be future webinars, and we have a library as well. We just did concealed weapons detection last month. So if you'd like to see that webinar, feel free to reach out to anybody at Absco, and we'll share that one with you as well. Next slide, please. A little bit about Absco. Again, been around a long time. You might recognize some of these faces. These are a mix of our presidents, account managers. I'm Chad Smith over here in the Spokane, Inland Northwest area, managing this territory. Jen McInerney was the one that was talking earlier today. We've got a marketing team that is helping us improve our webinars and our organization of how we position security in our industry. So I appreciate that. John Harlow is a new addition to our team. Just started this week, our new director of sales and marketing. We are excited to have him on our team. Lots of industry experience, and he's going to bring a lot of value and a lot of experience and expertise to the Absco team. So we're here to support you. We're here to answer questions. This webinar is, again, intended to help you understand why cloud. Some people are afraid of the word cloud. We want to kind of dispel some of that, talk about the realities of where the cloud is going, what is possible, and where we can align with your security needs and your security goals via on-prem versus cloud. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Ryan Schermerhorn, who's going to take it over from here.
Thank you so much, Chad. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay.
Ryan, I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry. We'll play a little video here before we introduce you fully.
That's right, the intro video.
We did, sorry.
Now, more than ever, you need to think differently. Use what you have in a new way. Work smarter. Protect your people. Spend less. Take the leap. Rethink video security with Ava. Our cloud solution helps you become smarter, more aware, and productive. Unify intelligent security cameras, real-time analytics, and insights for better operations. Don't rip and replace. Ava Cloud Video Security is an open platform that integrates with the devices, sensors, and tools you use every day. Don't waste time on complicated installations and management. Ava Cloud security cameras are online in minutes, easy to use, and always updated. Use our smart maps with occupancy counting, real-time notifications, and seamless third-party integration, and gain complete awareness directly on your phone or web browser. Don't worry about high data use from video streaming. Our SmartPath technology minimizes bandwidth consumption, improves quality and latency. Don't spend hours investigating after something happened. Act smarter and faster before threats escalate with AI anomaly detection. Enjoy the full power of Ava's proactive analytics and cloud management efficiency in one unified view for all your devices. Rethink video security and bring smart analytics to your business. Rethink security with Ava.
The Avigilon Alta touchless access control security system by Openpath is a cutting-edge solution that allows you to unlock doors and access points using your smartphone, eliminating the need to touch door handles or keypads for enhanced convenience and safety. The system's cloud-based technology provides you with unparalleled flexibility, enabling you to manage access from anywhere and at any time, grant or revoke access, set schedules, and receive real-time alerts and notifications for added security. With built-in video surveillance capabilities, the system ensures the safety and security of your facility at all times, allowing you to monitor and record activity at access points. The Avigilon Alta system is also incredibly easy to install and integrate with your existing security infrastructure, making it a cost-effective solution for any facility. Upgrade your security today and experience the future of touchless access control with Avigilon Alta.
Perfect. Well, I hope that video was fun to watch for everybody. Let me address the first most confusing elephant in the room. For anybody that is familiar with the brands Ava on the video side or Openpath on the access control side, we were both independent companies that have been purchased by Motorola Solutions. Openpath was acquired in July of 2021. Ava was acquired March of last year. And this year at ISC, we announced that the two brands would be consolidating under the banner of Avigilon Alta. So still pretty fresh, this part of it. And I can tell you that our marketing team is hard at work creating some new assets, material, videos, and things that are branded appropriately. So for the sake of the webinar, yes, those did say Openpath and Ava, but just know that when we refer to Alta, it is the combination of these brands. And moving forward, Alta will basically represent the Avigilon native cloud platform. Now, what that means today is basically that these two products, which have integrated together for a long time, continue to do that. Seamless, no additional cost involved. But moving forward, the unification will be more than just a name. This will be a singular cloud platform. I'm going to touch on that in just a little bit. So for those of you that don't know me, again, my name is Ryan Schermerhorn. I previously with Ava Security, I was one of the the early folks, and am now part of the Avigilon Alta team. I am based here in the Northwest. Central Oregon is home for me. I born and raised in the Portland area, though, so it's still easy to get to, and I'm traveling throughout the Northwest on a fairly regular basis. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about this new Alta thing. We do have some slides put together. I'm not going to read them to you, so I encourage you just to look them over as we talk through that. But they're going to be very, very high level and admittedly a little bit of marketing driven. My hope is to get through that fairly quickly, so that way we can focus on really my primary area of expertise, which is the cloud video side, and do a hands-on, show you the product, and we'd love to be able to leave some time open for questions as well. If you do have questions now, feel free to throw them in the chat. Our moderation team will go through and make sure that those questions are brought to my attention when appropriate. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. So why did we do what we did? Both brands, Openpath and Ava, were performing very, very well. Both had strong names in the industry, and we're growing rapidly as we have really hit this tipping point in the market where mass adoption and a mandate across the board in the private sector and the public sector to move to cloud-based technology is in full effect. Anybody that doesn't realize that would love to chat with you about that and qualify it. But this is what's happening. Very similar to when I got into this industry, when analog was there, but everybody saw that network cameras, IP-based cameras were right on the horizon. Nobody really questioned that that's the direction the industry was going, but not everybody really understood why. They didn't really know the value behind it. But if you fast forward just a couple of years into 2008, 2009 timeframe, that value was self-evident. Nobody questioned. We saw that we could get a lot higher quality video. We saw that people could update software on their platforms so that 5 years down the line, they were running the same software as people that were just installing brand new systems. Those things weren't available with old analog technology. And of course, that's just a couple examples. But moving forward to today, we're seeing very similar things in cloud. Now, a lot of this is self-evident from a perspective of, as we just examine how we live our lives, how our businesses are run. The vast majority of that is already very much cloud-based. It's how we communicate. It's how we consume content. It's how we educate ourselves. It's how we do our banking. It's anybody that is thinking that they don't already live their life in very much a cloud-centric way only needs to pull open their phone and look at all their most commonly used apps, because it's all cloud. Security sometimes is just a little bit behind the curve, the tech curve in that regard, but this is one of the reasons why we're seeing this mass adoption now happening. In certain states are actually mandating that their own public agencies all move to cloud with everything that they can. They want to get rid of servers. They don't want to have that hardware as a liability taking up space, but they also don't want to have to manage it. They don't want vulnerabilities on site. And the reason why Ava and Openpath have come together is because we see challenges that are basically still existing. And in many cases, over the last few years, we've seen brand new challenges really emerge in ways that are more prominent than they have been in the past. We're seeing this in our cities. We're seeing this in businesses. The work from home has become very popular because of some of these things, and we've seen people moving out of cities because of it. But it's amazing to me how often I visit businesses and agencies in the public sector that are still dealing with things that technology has been around for years to address, but there just hasn't been an easy and cost-effective way to address those. Let's go to the next slide. And the reasons behind that have been historically because it has been cost prohibitive to really incorporate all of these different, a single solution to address all of these challenges. And so the primary reason for joining Ava and Openpath together into what is now Avigilon Alta is to provide all the benefits of an end-to-end proprietary native cloud-based solution, not just in security, but for safety, for business operations, for things that have nothing to do with security, but provide a unified cloud environment, single web target, single user database, and provide the benefits of that end-to-end proprietary solution, but to do so in a way that provides the ultimate level of flexibility and the openness that is very, very important. I'm not a fan of proprietary any way, shape, or form. I never have been. It's been pretty much spent my whole career talking and preaching about the importance and the benefits of an open platform. And that is exactly what Alta is. We are a native cloud, seamless, all-in-one unified solution that is committed to being the most open cloud platform on the market. Let's go to the next slide. So what does that look like? Well, you've got today these two aspects of it, the access control and the video side. They actually share a lot of characteristics in terms of what would draw somebody to the benefits that one of these platforms offered. The other one definitely is sharing a lot of those same characteristics. We're both focused on a simple and easy to use platform, utilizing the technology today to provide smart analytics and intelligence. The commitment to open and future-proofing is a huge part of that. So, you know, we talk about the importance of being open. We are not trying to just solve problems today, but we are trying to show the importance of solving the problems, but also giving you a platform that is flexible enough to address the challenges you're going to face over the next decade. And that's really a major part of what should be considered today before making any investment. It's not just about what's relevant today, but think in terms of minimum the next decade. And are you investing in technology that will grow and scale and be flexible enough to incorporate the various solutions that are going to be needed based upon those challenges that we might not even know exist yet, or maybe they don't exist yet, but they might in the future. So having that openness is absolutely critical to ensuring that the investment you make today is a smart one. Let's go to the next slide. All right, so looking at the access control piece, for those of you that are not familiar with it, Openpath, or now Alta Control Center, is what we'll call it, has grown to prominence, especially during the COVID years, because they've managed to do what nobody else can do, and that's really provide the best, most seamless and easiest to use mobile credential on the market. And a lot of different access control companies are leveraging mobile, so your mobile phones, as a replacement to credentials like badges or fobs and things like that. but everybody else requires interaction of some sort. Everybody else requires you to pull out the phone and pull up an app and shake it, or to pull up a list of your doors and click on the door that you want. Openpath is the only one that literally, as we see in the image on the right there, it requires zero interaction whatsoever. And the readers are able to do things as simple as let you just wave your hand in front of them. And because it's communicating and recognizes the mobile device being close enough, and you get to set what those distances are, it is an incredibly high level of convenience in terms of the experience to the users. Property management is blowing up here. People love the fact that they can be carrying the full load. They're carrying multiple bags and they can just wave their elbow in front of the reader and they're good to go. They don't have to mess with a physical credential. They don't have to mess with their phone and pull it up and do things. It's just very, very easy. But sometimes other options are necessary, which is why they've released other types of readers as well. Readers that incorporate keypads, or that incorporate cameras, or cameras and intercoms, kind of redefining how voice can play a role in all of this as well. Admittedly, I am not the Openpath rep. I think we're going to do another one of these webinars with my counterpart that really represents and is focused on the access control side at a later date, but I at least wanted to give you a little bit of visibility into what this entails. Let's go to the next slide. So on the video side, a lot of the same benefits, but the focus really is it's very, very similar. It's how do we make life easy, not just for the users, but also for the installers, because on the installing side, if we can simplify that whole process, that translates to a more cost-effective solution. No longer are you required to spend a lot of money to ensure that you get a highly functional, highly capable, highly intelligent, and seamlessly integrated system, because all the upfront heavy work is done for you. And it's done in a way that gives you, again, the benefit of proprietary without the risks, without the drawbacks of proprietary. So we're talking about things like no more client software, no more server-side software, no software updates whatsoever. Obviously, we are doing software updates, but it's all automated and it comes from the cloud. So it is a hands-off approach. This is for both sides of the Alta platform. Everything is accessed through a browser or a mobile app. That is your interface. And as new versions are released, there's nothing for you to do because you're just logging in from a browser. All the new stuff is all ready to go for you. Let's go to the next slide. And so on the video piece, we are really focused in two areas. Now, there's a little stat out there that says 98% of security videos never actually viewed by human eyes. And I'd say that that today that's probably still fairly true. What does that tell us? It tells us that the vast majority of people utilize their security video to search for events after the fact. And I've heard plenty of stories about how tedious and painful this process can be to ensure that every piece of video evidence is captured from a standpoint of having to check every camera to see somebody who's been throughout various aspects of the building, to schools that are needing to ensure that somebody was going from one hallway to the next into this room and then out and then all around, to make sure that they have all of that. We take what traditionally has taken hours, and we can turn that into sheer minutes at the most. And we're doing so in a way that requires very, very little training whatsoever. But the problem with forensic, the problem with search is that the damage is done. Let's go to the next slide. And the focus that we also have is bringing a shift, a dynamic shift in how we think about all of this, to how do we bring things to your attention in real time, so that way you can respond in the moment. Within a few seconds, you have information that is valuable because an event has just started to take place. a relevant event, whether it's something simple or something a lot more critical. And if we can leverage this technology in a proactive way, then perhaps we can mitigate some of the risk or minimize or eliminate the damage that's being done. And so even though some of the things I'm going to show are going to be more search-based, just know that we can utilize all of this in a real-time manner. And that is a huge fundamental shift from the way things have been. Because if we can respond, then now we're not just pulling up evidence of things that are done, right? We're being proactive, and sometimes that can mean savings of property, savings of assets, safety to our people, which should always be the most valuable asset, right? Let's go to the next slide. And of course, I talk about open. Open is important. When you are in a proprietary world, then that means that you are forced to take your, they're going to provide you with a square hole, and you need to make sure that your peg is also square to make that work. The Alta platform is geared around fitting into the way that you operate, whether it's on the way that you manage your users, your employees with single sign-on, whether it's being able to leverage technology that you've already invested in. We don't necessarily believe that you need to buy all new cameras. That's not always a good and smart solution, though a lot of our competition does say that that is the only way to leverage what they're doing. We want to leverage IT standards and security into security market standards so that you get the benefits of everything that we have to offer without having to buy a lot of things that are perhaps unnecessary. Let's leverage those investments and make better use of our money. Let's go to the next slide. All right, so future proofing. Let me address one more kind of key point here, and then I think we're going to move into the demo portions. That way we have enough time. This concept of future proofing your investments today, I talked about how important it is with an open platform to know that you can bring new technologies into your system, whether it be sensors. Sensors are growing at a very rapid pace. Most of them have nothing to do with security at all. In schools, vape detectors are becoming incredibly popular. But simple things like monitoring temperature inside your IT closets, monitoring for moisture leaks or humidity levels or air quality. All of these things play a role that is tangible value to the organization using it, but we're leveraging this common platform to make it very seamless and easy and consistent to have that information up and available basically wherever you are, because you might not be sitting at your desk, but if you have your phone, then you can do all the things that you need to do. And so when we talk about future proof, it's not just about having options now and in the future, but it's also about not being locked in. Forward compatibility is important. Backward compatibility is also important. And some of our competitors are very, they don't like to talk a lot about it, but with cloud cameras, there is a stigma behind them that because they are proprietary, if you ever stop paying on the license, then the cameras that you bought become completely useless. And I'm very happy to share with you today that everything that is sold within the Alta video line is not just compatible with other technologies that are available today, but they are also usable on other platforms because we have ONVIF as an industry standard. For those of you that aren't familiar with ONVIF, it is a consortium that basically came together within the industry that creates a plug and play protocol for platforms to communicate with edge devices. Most often this is cameras, but it can be speakers and intercoms and things like that as well. And if you adhere to these standards, then that means that you can change out your devices at will, or you can bring in a new platform and utilize all the devices that you already have. And we are the only cloud camera manufacturer on the market that is committed to this, that has publicly gone out and said, yes, every piece of hardware we sell is usable on another platform, so that in the future, if things change, if we're not doing our part to live up to the value that you expect, or somebody comes out with something else that's new and just amazing and solves your problems better than we are, then you can do that. You can move to that platform and take all of your hardware with you. You're never stuck having to rip and replace everything that's out there. And that's a very, very important part that I would encourage everybody to consider. Next slide. All right. So just to wrap up, we feel that that we are the platform that has basically taken the best of all the approaches. There are folks out there on the video side that only provide appliances to utilize third-party cameras, and then there's folks that only do cloud cameras. We are the one platform that does both. On the access control side, there's folks out there that have said, yep, we do mobile credentials, but nobody has done it in a way that really enhances the experience to the users. But by bringing all of this together into a singular platform, one web target, one user database, we've basically set the path to be really the most functional, the most secure, the most easy to use cloud end-to-end solution in the industry. And that is what Avigilon Alta is looking to become. All right. I think we're through the slides. Like I said, I don't like to PowerPoint anybody into submission, but let's get to some of the fun stuff. I want to be able to show this off to you. So if I can have the screen, then I will go ahead and pull up my deployment here.
Ryan, you should be able to share your screen. Should have you okay for that.
Didn't know if I could just share over the top of you. Oh no.
Okay.
And of course, now Zoom, for whatever reason, even though it's been on my laptop for a long time, is saying that I have to open my security preferences to grant access, because why wouldn't this ever be done ahead of time? All right, so I apologize. I'm going to have to log out and reload Zoom in order for this to work. So I'll be back within 30 seconds.
Since we have 30 seconds, does anybody have any questions, comments that you want us to address? Perfect.
Hey Chad, it's Susan. Hi guys, Susan from Beaverton Absco office, account executive there. I'm wondering if this is something that we can also talk about with Jason and the active shooter detection that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. And that's something that maybe we can look into, because I know it does integrate with Avigilon, but not sure if it does with Alta.
Yeah, there's a lot of integrations that I'm sure Ryan will probably touch on.
Okay.
And that's one of the real strong foundational feature sets of Motorola, is they are open and they do play nice with a lot of other products out in the marketplace. We do have to verify on some of these things, because on the other side, they may have some complications, but if there is an already established integration, then that's a done deal. It's just a matter of identifying some, what the end customer wants it to do. But yeah, well, we can talk about other integrations to this, because I'm curious about Bosch as well. Bosch integrations,
Yep.
security solution integrations into this, and they may not have all that figured out yet because this is still very new, but we'll ask.
So I'm back. I did hear part of the question. I'll say that, one of the kind of key things about Ava when we were still private was that, we had a very aggressive integration roadmap in terms of access control companies. And we still have about 9 just this year that are going to be released. Openpath on their side, integrated with a lot of different video platforms. That is not stopping. We will both continue to grow our third-party, integrated partner solutions. So that way you continue to have more choice than limitation. When I hear Bosch, obviously Bosch is a player in the video space as well, but one area where they do, they're a little more prominent is on the intrusion side. Intrusion is one piece that doesn't exist within Alta today, but it is currently in development. And so in the hopefully near future, we're actually going to release a framework that will allow integration into intrusion systems. I would say that Bosch is, one of the major players out there. So that'll be one target for integration. Another will probably be DMP, and there might be a couple more out there. But the framework comes before our own. And obviously the benefit of having an all-in-one unified solution presents a lot of advantages. And so probably next year, we will also be releasing our own intrusion solution, leveraging a lot of the devices that we already have. So I don't know if that specifically addressed. Again, I came back kind of in the middle of it, but I also wanted people to know that, yeah, what you're seeing today is not the way it's going to be. We're going to take the great parts of all of this, but it is only going to grow more and more and more and more.
And not to continue this rabbit trail, but as you continue to demonstrate and talk about Alta, we have several Avigilon on-prem users on this call. So if you could speak to that as well and make sure there's some clarity about how these two could potentially play together, or a migration path if there's interest. I'm sure you'll talk about that, but I just wanted to mention that.
No, that's actually a great topic. So let me address that now. Avigilon, as we've all known it, is now rebranded Unity. So Avigilon, the name Avigilon is now more of an umbrella within the Motorola world that covers end-to-end video and access control and soon intrusion solutions. Unity represents the on-premise side of that. Alta represents the cloud. And so it's a little bit confusing because if we're being technical, Avigilon now is not the way it used to be. So you might hear us say, are we talking Alta or Unity? Basically what we're saying is this cloud or on-prem. But the obvious question is, for those that have an invested solution in the Unity side or the traditional Avigilon on-premise stuff, what does that mean if you want to move to cloud? And the company leadership has made it very clear that cloud is the direction the company is moving, because again, this is what the market is dictating to us. And a couple of the quicker pieces that are available for us is the fact that we're working on basically taking the Avigilon camera product line and seeing how we can load firmware into it to allow it to be natively cloud on the Aware platform. But for those that have a large deployment or small deployment, doesn't have to be large, they're saying, how do we move from where we're at into cloud? It can literally be as simple as replacing the head-end NVR with something that we call a cloud connector. The cloud connector it's server hardware, but it's running a very stripped down Linux kernel. So no operating system, not Windows. It's a hands-off box that brings all of those cameras into the system, and that box basically acts as a conduit to the cloud where the VMS resides. No longer does it reside on site, it resides in the cloud. But all your video is going to be stored locally because that's still the most effective way to do that. And we're taking all of our video analytics and injecting it into those video streams, whether they're Avigilon cameras or Axis cameras or Hanwha cameras, or every now and again, I still get people that are selling or that have hike vision on site. As long as they're ONVIF compatible, we're going to immediately make them intelligent and give them access to the full range of our video analytic capabilities. But because we also have cloud cameras, that means that we are the one company in the market that can meet customers where they're at today, but also give them a path to achieve that truly serverless architecture, which in talking with many IT folks, that's the direction. If they have their choice, that's the direction they want to go. They want to get rid of servers on site. It's more reliable, it's more scalable, it's more resilient. You know, an NVR goes down, it takes down the cameras with it. They can also achieve, you know, hey, the box is full. We need more storage. We need more cameras. The box doesn't have room. Cloud cameras get rid of all of that. And it's the easy button. So we can utilize what you've got today, but also give you a path to where you'd like to go on your own time as schedule and budget allow. So I've logged in, or I've at least you can see it's just I'm in my browser here, and you know how you access it. For me, it's a bookmark, and I leave it here basically so you can see that we do support all the different single sign-on options as long as it's SAML based, Okta, Azure AD, Google single sign-on, whatever you're using. We support all of that. It doesn't cost extra, or it can be as simple as just a username and password tied to an email address. Very, very easy. And we're a little bit lucky. I don't always get this, but this is what your upgrade process looks like. You get a little note that says, "Oh, last night the software was updated. It was done automatically, and click here to see what's new." So as new features or bug fixes or vulnerability patches are released, we basically just push them out as soon as they're ready, and you simply get to see what's been done if you want to. But this is the landing page. This will be basically the video portion of the Alta cloud platform. All the Openpath stuff, the control center, will also be a part of this as well. They will all be seamlessly in here together. Today, separate, very soon, unified. But let's go through, and I'm just going to do a couple of quick use cases that really highlight some of the differences between where we're at today and what maybe is a little bit different than what you're used to. So let's throw a couple of other cameras in here. Yeah, there we go. So this video is all live. My corporate office in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm currently in the Portland area. But you know, with cloud access does not require any special IT privileges or anything. It's just a web target, so it makes it very quick and very easy, very low latency and low bandwidth use as well. So the first thing to highlight is that we are not a motion-based platform. We are an object-based platform, and what that means is that as I turn on a couple of visualizations, you can see the people are now being highlighted in blue. Vehicles are being highlighted in pink. What we care about are interesting objects. And to us, that is people and vehicles. And this allows us to do all sorts of things that are way more intelligent than traditional video-based, motion-based video systems. First and foremost, we can see down in the activity bar, the activity is color-coded. So obviously inside, we're not seeing vehicles, we're just seeing people, but on the outside, we're seeing the presence of just vehicles or people or where they overlap. And that makes a basic search very easy. So I can see up here in my entryway, I've got a couple areas back here where people were detected. And I can literally just put this into playback and I can scroll back and I know right where to go because I know that there was a person in this scene, right? And I can go to whatever date and time that I want if I need to go further back and we don't want to scrub, or if we need to do this with multiple cameras. You can see that that playback is now synced together. So you're not losing that. But this is what most companies call search. Well, to us, this isn't search. This is just basic playback. It's an unintelligent process that requires you to dictate what you want to see with a lot of specificity, right? So when we need to take this to a little bit more of an intelligent level, then we can pull up our search tab and start to do things like searching based on appearance. Now, if you're using an on-prem Avigilon system today, you're going to see that there's a lot of alignment, a lot of the same types of things and benefits that Avigilon has always offered with their end-to-end solution on-site. We're now doing in the cloud, but extending that beyond to anybody's cameras, as long as they're OnVIF compatible. So the ability to do an appearance search of a person, maybe perhaps we need to, find that female that we were told was wearing a red shirt and she was in the market. And it just happened. So we're going to quickly do this and just check the last 30 minutes. Within seconds, I now have a record of everything in the last 30 minutes across all the cameras that do appear to show what is a female wearing a red shirt. And I will note that this is not an Ava camera. This is a third-party camera that we are doing this on. So you're not limited to all the best features if you only use our cameras here, right? But it's when you begin to combine behaviors with appearance that I think it really gets powerful. So I'm going to take you through a use case that has been pretty popular. Let's say somebody gained access into the building. We don't know what they look like, but we just know that some things are off, right? We see that there's things that are missing or damage was done, and we need to do that investigation. So the first thing I'm going to do is a line crossing, right? And I'm going to do a line crossing, obviously, of a person. Person is what I'm looking for here. Don't know what they look like. So I could add appearance if I wanted, but I'm not going to. And I'm just going to go to my front office, right? So people typically, and in our office, they walk through this door and they walk down the hallway in that direction. So I'm going to simply draw my line and say, I'm looking for any person that crossed this line in this direction. Pretty basic. And if I do the last 12 hours, that should cover pretty much the workday into last night. I can do custom times as well, but you can see within seconds, I now have a clean record of every single person, that has gained access into my building. And as I go through and just search through these, I can see, oh, that's Jeff Heinzman, he's fine. Oh, that's Craig, he's fine. You know what? I don't recognize this guy in the blue shirt. So I want to add a couple shots of him, or actually let's just hit play. And I can do what's called a spotlight search. So spotlight search basically is now using his appearance as a reference to do a search. Now, obviously, there are other people that have similar profiles. So then I can refine it a little bit and say, great, well, I can see all these that are indeed the right individual. And as I do that, I can now do a similarity search over the last hour and say, great, let's go ahead and do that. And now it's going to do its best across all the cameras throughout the facility to try to refine that a little bit and bring about either some additional options or ones that were possibly missed. But looking through, it looks like we got a pretty good list of all the relevant hits of this particular individual. So what do we do with that? Well, we can export it, we can bookmark it. Those are pretty common, but because it's cloud, we can take advantage of the simplicity the cloud offers and share video through the cloud. So I've got all my clips here. I can modify the start and the end time, throw some notes in there, give it a name. I can choose how long this web link, because we are just sharing a web link, how long this is going to be active. If we're sharing this with law enforcement, perhaps we want them to have the ability of downloading this themselves. So that way, we as users aren't in a position that requires us to now export that, put it onto a thumb drive, meet with the officers, and physically hand this to them. Those things all take time. So let's make this easy. And then because we are a security company, of course, we want to go ahead and add an extra layer of security by creating a password on the fly. And as soon as I do that, this link has now been created and put on my clipboard. So I can now share this any way that I want. I can text it, Slack it, Microsoft Teams, throw it in an email, however you want to share a web link. And whoever you share that with, you're basically going to give them the ability to just click on it. And in their browser, wherever they're at, anywhere in the world, this is what they see. Of course, they need to put in the password that you created for them. And as soon as they do that, they now have access to all of this video. So you can see all that. We still have the ability of doing our digital Zoom and all that good stuff. Everything is good to go. That they need to see. So now they have their information. And because we said that they could download it with one click, they can download all these video clips themselves right to their own machine from wherever they are, immediately upload it into their evidence management platform, and they're off to the races. Now, let me recap what I just did, just briefly. I looked for a person without knowing anything about what they look like based on behavior. Then I found that person and I quickly searched for the presence of that person across my entire building. Then I grabbed all those video clips. I've shared it with law enforcement. They have the video that they need. I've done all this in the course of a few minutes, and I did it from the West Coast when all this video exists on the East Coast without any special permissions with IT. We didn't create new users or anything like that. I did this from across the country. And that is not just the power of cloud, but the power of an intelligent cloud solution. How do we simplify this, right? So while it's great that I showed you a search feature, now just imagine that we're incorporating all of this into our rules engine for proactive use. I want to know when my IT closet gets above 90 degrees. I want to know when this door is being forced open. I need to know if somebody is driving the wrong way in the one-way parking lot, or if a car is hanging out in the loading zone for too long. I need to know when a gunshot goes off, or when screaming is detected, or a car alarm is going off. And then, of course, with anomalies, we're bringing in the machine learning component to recognize what does normal look like at any given point in time, and begin to tag events that fall outside those boundaries. Like in a school, we're used to seeing kids on the playground. We're used to seeing them bring their bikes, which is a two-wheeled vehicle, but we're not used to seeing a Jeep tearing around the field. That's a big four-wheeled vehicle, right? That would be an anomaly. What looks normal at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday is different than 3 a.m. on a Sunday. So we're doing a lot behind the scenes, and all of it is automated to bring relevant things to the forefront, give you a higher level of awareness, as well as the ability to respond to things in real time. The last thing I'm going to show off here, just because it is my favorite feature, are maps. And we do maps a little bit differently. So this is my office. This is a live representation of what's going on in our office. And of course, just like everybody else, we can click on the camera and see what's going on. But if you look, we're actually showing some icons down here. Well, who's this person? I can click on an object because we're geospatially placing interesting objects on the map, people and vehicles. If I were to move this outside, just so you can get an idea of what a busy public street looks like, now we're getting a lot of vehicles out here as well, right? So situational awareness in real time is at a very, very high level without even having to look at video. And if we begin to incorporate information from our sensors, door status, temperature, here's vape detected, moisture not being detected, here's humidity levels, all of those things, that's valuable as well. But it's not just a real-time tool. Our maps are actually an investigation tool. So I can go back to the last alarm and see that somebody tripped an alarm in here. And by simply clicking on the object, I'm now watching that happen. And I'm not interacting with this in any way. This is the system just doing all of this for me. It looks like somebody tripped a line crossing rule that was set up in this particular space. So it's not just real time. Yes.
I just wanted to call out, we're at about a little less than 5 minutes. So
Yes. That was the last thing I wanted to at least show. And I know that obviously we want to be respectful of time. And I know that I went through some of this very quickly, but if there are questions, let's take some of those and we can just address them one by one. No questions?
I think you covered a lot. That was fantastic. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously there's, this is never has to be a one and done. The point of bringing it together in a brief format like this is to at least give you a high level overview. When this really becomes more powerful is when we have the ability to sit down and talk more specifics. Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead. If we were talking earlier about integrations, and I know we talked about a lot of different things, but just asking because we did last a webinar on the concealed weapons detection system. Is there any integration with Alta for that?
So the way that we operate, there's two different types of integrations. There is what we call a data level integration, typically done in the cloud. That's how we integrate with Openpath today. Basically, the two cloud targets point at each other and it takes about 3 minutes to do. And now they're sharing information and allowing all this seamless operation, like the ability to go ahead and unlock doors for people and see those doors on the map. I just unlocked a door. Very, very simple. Have access to all those events. But with concealed weapons, there is also the ability to leverage our generic APIs to provide a level of interoperability. So obviously Motorola provides something called CWD, concealed weapons detection. This is something that obviously is a physical piece of hardware as people walk through. And yes, there are ways that we've been able to share that video, to receive those alerts within our system using standard IT protocols like webhooks and web relays and things like that. So that way that's all seamless. But there are also other types of weapons detections. I've had customers use video-based weapons identification. So they're utilizing our video, analyzing it, and if a weapon is presented, meaning if the video can see it, it will recognize that and receive alarms as well. So there's different ways to do that. Basically, we provide the flexibility and the framework to have it operate the way that you want it to operate. Meaning, is somebody actively monitoring that? Where do these notifications need to go? Do we need to go into a lockdown, or does a certain number of events need to happen when that is detected? Our cameras do audio analytics as well. So we have the ability to provide through integrations to identify weapons that are seen in the video. With the concealed weapons solution, we can identify weapons that are hidden. And then, of course, because our cameras do audio analytics, we can also recognize gunshots, just the sound. So it's kind of three different ways that we're addressing in each different ways, but three different solutions that effectively provide a very, very complete overall solution. And it's all seamless. And the way that we can respond to that is pretty consistent across the board.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
So just quick 20-second takeaway here. We've got basically you're swapping out a server, the maintenance of a server, Windows updates and all of that, and potential licensing fees depending upon what systems you have. For a cloud-based system where there is no maintenance of servers and software is always updated, you're using a web browser to log in. There is annual fees for this. Obviously, all cloud systems are, right? So if you have questions about that, get with your Absco sales representative. We'll give you whatever information you need. If you would like more detailed presentation, you want to see your own demo, reach out to your Absco sales representative, and we'll get that set up as well and give you more specific information about your specific sites and needs.
Yep.
We are at time though. It looks like you wanted to say one more thing there, Ryan.
Nope, I was just throwing this little graphic up there to kind of highlight the fact that, yep, cloud cameras, your existing cameras through a cloud connector, everything is seamless here, but we're bringing access control and sensors and everything in a unified way. So the level of flexibility, we are the only platform that offers this in the industry.
That's awesome. Reason why Motorola bought it. So again, we are available to you guys if you have any questions, whether it's design, specific pricing questions, you want to see some more information, you want to see a demo specifically for your use case, reach out to your Absco sales representative and we'll get you set up. Again, appreciate your guys' time and interest in learning more about the latest and greatest with technology. It's moving very fast in our industry. So I appreciate you guys staying up to date and in tune with us. Look for the next webinar, which will have advertisements on that here shortly. Appreciate your guys' time. Enjoy your week. Ryan, thank you. You're a great partner as always. We'll be in touch soon.
Thanks, everyone.